Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions Presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host Darren, and right now I'm sitting in the studios, the live streaming studios in Seattle, Washington. And coming to me today from Toronto, Canada, we have Peter Mack on the show. Peter, how's it going today?
Darren, how are you?
I'm
First of
doing
all, I want to
great.
send my condolences. I don't know if Seattle is recovered from what happened in the baseball in the American Championship Series, but hey, we're in the World Series for the Dodgers, and we had to get by Seattle first. And I'm really sorry, man.
Oh man, it was a hell of a series. I mean, I'm not the. If I had to choose to watch sporting events, you know, I'm not a huge baseball fan, like regular season watcher, but watching them make it that far. I mean, we go to games all the time. The games are
I
fun.
went to Game 7, and I mean they played amazing. Not as good as Toronto, of course, but they played amazing. Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, just to have it elevated, the energy in the city and everything that was going on is awesome. I mean, we got some good contending sports teams here, football and baseball. We need to get
It's a great sporting city, yeah.
Yeah, we need to get our basketball team back. I think.
And
that
you
would
got
be
the
really
Kraken now. The
Kraken NHL. Yeah, they're pretty
and of
awesome.
course, being Canadian, hockey's very important to us. So.
Well, and that stadium too, that revamp on that stadium, Climate Pledge Arena, which used to be Key Arena, that I grew up with. It's a beautiful stadium. I mean, very, very awesome. Been to a lot of concerts and games there as well.
I remember the Kingdome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Kingdome. I kind of grew up in the Kingdome. I mean, that was a fun concrete floor that they played on. I don't know how those football players took it, because all they did is they lay down the green stuff, the felt. It wasn't a grass stadium.
Or what they do. Well, we have a covered stadium as well, the Rogers Center, but it's only used for baseball. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. But we could talk sports all day long. We're going to talk about music. Let's get back to the music here on the DJ Sessions. You run a label called Barking Mad Music. Now, wait a second. I'm going to actually pull up an email really quick here, because in this email with you, I'm a little confused. So I want some clarification on this. Sure. I see in your email signature, it says Peter Mack, music producer, and it lists Barking Mad. Okay, we'll talk about Barking Mad, but then I see Quantize Recordings, Category 1, Soul and Pepper, Inward, Groove Boom, Cattell.
I know.
I mean, it's going.
Well, I'll tell you how I got into this whole production thing. I had my own events agency and booking agency for about 10 years before 1920. That's going a bit too far. 2020, and then COVID hit. And my events went from here to zero. I had nothing to do. And I was sitting there going, what am I going to do with myself? And I said to myself, I've always wanted to produce electronic music, house music. So what did I do? I sat and watched about 300 tutorials of YouTube on how to, because I'm not a technical guy, I'm a musical guy. I have musical training in university. And with technical stuff, I was having trouble just organizing, getting you on today. I'm just not a technical guy, but I learned how to do it. And I was I really, really worked hard at it. And once you learn all how the buttons work and all the, the technical stuff, it came really easy for me. And I've been producing, and that was before Barking Mad. So I started producing music for about 2 years, from 2020 to 2022, and I sent my music to all these labels. And about 80% of the time, the labels took all the demos, they sent them. So that's how I built up a big base of different labels that I was working on. In 2022, I opened Barking Bad Music, and I started just releasing my own. My own. I said Barking Bad, Barking Mad. That's actually how I got the name of the label. Sort of. I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, so
nice.
There was that connection somehow.
Nice. Now I see the icon. It's Barking Mad. Is that is there a mascot, a pet in the studio?
I don't know. I was lying in bed one night thinking, what am I going to call the label? And it just came to me. I was talking to some English producer the other day, and we were talking about a DJ, and he said, this guy's barking mad, So I just thought, wow, it just stuck with me. And nice. That's how I got the name of the label. I think most labels the ideas of labels come out in some weird way, so
Back in 2022, we were toying around with the idea of opening up or starting our own label at the DJ Sessions. And I looked at that endeavor where things were growing. It was going to be a feasible thing to do. But the one thing that was so hard was, okay, what are we going to be known for? What is our style going to be known for? Are we going to open it to our artists? Are we going to use only our own artists? How does that look like if we blow up an artist and put a bunch of money into them and blow them up, and then they walk away and we just made them famous, but now they're just riding off the fame that we helped them get. We don't get a kickback up of anything in the future, unless we're signed on a deal or something like that. And, it just things kind of went down in 2023, 2024. I had to put some things on the side burner. But I just saw that almost like I don't have the time to listen to 300, 500, 1,000 submissions a day. Yeah. If you open up the floodgates like that, how do you manage that with if it's just your own label? Is your own label just for you, or are you looking
I mean, the majority of the tracks are my tracks, but every fourth release I put another artist on the label, and I have some favorites, of course, some favorite producers. I like working with the Mexican producers because they're putting out a lot of great Latin house stuff. And just a little bit about the label. The label, I started primarily as a real deep house label, and then now I've expanded to soulful house and Latin house. And so it's basically the three genres that I really love myself personally, what I like to DJ. Actually, DJing, that's not true. DJing, I really love deep house music. I love it. That's my genre.
That's house music is my go-to. It's kind of, you could say, what I was raised on in the electronic music underground culture growing up. I mean, just you put a good house beat on, whether it's in the afternoon, at the beach, in the nightclub, even at a restaurant eating dinner, it's like, I'm in the mood.
Nice. It's not like hands in the air type of music.
Yeah, but cool, it definitely is getting you on the floor, booty shaking and moving, and the soulfulness of house as well. Of the lyrics that get the lyric, I love the guitars, I love the horns that they put in there, and the lyrics. Just I was describing years back. You probably know the track. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I had this whole house music compilation. It wasn't a disc. It was just like somebody spun the whole thing and put it together. And the way it starts out, I go, "You want to know what house music is? Listen to this. This is
the stuff from Chicago in the '90s." I think personally the golden, and I'm showing my age here maybe, but the golden age of house music for me was the 90s.
Yeah.
1990, not the 1890s. That's going a bit too far back. 1990s. I really believe that. But, I lived in Spain when that whole thing was happening, and I was a promoter. And I was lucky enough, working as a promoter, that we brought some of the, the big American house DJs over to mainland Spain, not Ibiza, because Ibiza they were bringing them since the 80s. But we brought Frankie Knuckles, who passed a couple years ago. We brought David Morales. We brought Carl Cox. We brought a lot of house DJs that were popular in the UK, but weren't popular yet in mainland Europe. And we started promoting parties with those type of DJs, and it really took off. Probably because we in the coast in Spain, they had a lot of English tourists, so that helped a lot. How everything grew. But it's funny. It's fascinating how house music started from some warehouse in Chicago, and now it's like a global phenomena. Really.
It's funny you mentioned David Morales, because his name just came up in an interview I did previous to this one today. And I was like, wait a second, I think I've had David on the show before. And I typed in Dave on my website. I was doing a search while I was in the middle of the interview, and it didn't come up. And then I typed in David. And sure enough, I did have him on the show in 2022. And I was like, I thought I had David on the show.
Yeah, he's one of the fathers of house music, especially the American sounding house.
Yeah, very fun interview. I mean, I don't think I've ever had an unpleasant interview with anyone on the show. And I know we were doing a little talking before the show that the ego in the industry.
I'll try to tamp it down.
Don't worry about it. I mean, like I said before the show, there's only a few things you can't do or things I won't discuss on the show. But, that is one of the things that I've encountered, as I was telling you pre-show. I actually had 3 encounters. This is so crazy. It's on that subject. I've had 3 encounters in the last month with a very big name in the industry, very big. I mean, big name, and was kind of had an EU moment, like, what the hell, dude? And then another person locally in our
how embarrassing on live.
It was. No, I tore them a new a-hole. Like I said, oh, you want to play Facebook war with me, dude? Let me throw a thesis on you for asking such a stupid.
That takes so much energy.
You know, I was like, no, dude. I mean, basically, I can't name the name, and my Facebook is kind of friends only. I got 3,000 people there, whatever. But the point is, I came back and the person was attacking me for the way I post online, and I was posting.
I don't understand how people have such energy for doing negative things like that. It's such negative energy.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, it was an attack on my style of posting. But I learned after 2020 that I used to give away 98% of my information away for free to help to lift up the community. I didn't ever, because anything I could do, you could find out how to do it online. I mean, it wasn't a secret, but a lot of people in 2020 were knocking on my door, asking me, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this?
Yeah, because no one could leave their house.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sitting there going, okay, I'll help you out. I'll help you out. I'll help you out. But what I found out, I was helping everyone out to, in a sense, make them my competition. You know? And it's like, if Pandy didn't happen, you would have never put yourself on camera and live stream at all.
Yeah.
And here you are, you don't want to work with the guy that's been doing it. You want to take his information and go. And I'm like, finally, I dropped it down. I give 97% of my information away for free now. You know, but that 1% can be a crucial part to any piece of the puzzle. But yeah, this person comes online and hits me up like that. And I'm like, I'm very famous, or not famous, but I'm known for vague booking, if you know the term, because I know that when I put stuff out there, the ideas I'm putting out there, I want to be the first one to have. I'm not going to post the ingredients of my recipe. I'm going to say I'm making cupcakes, but I'm not going to tell you what's going into the ingredients of the cupcake. And if somebody comes at you and says, why do you always post about cupcakes, but you don't put the ingredients of your cupcakes online? First of all,
fishing for info.
Facebook, I can do what I want. That was the first rule. Second, there are no rules to social media.
That's true.
You know, and I mean, I just laid into
that can be a good thing. That can be a bad thing.
Yeah, and I was like, cool. But then again, locally here, I had somebody commented on a post I made, and they said, "Is it going to be this location?" And all I put on there was simple, NO, smiley face. That's all I put. There was no other context outside of that could have led or read into that. Nope, smiley. I literally say no smiley face, like nope, good guess, but no. Yeah. This person comes back, literally my DMs, and goes, first 3 letters, WTF. How can you actually joke about a business going out of business? And I'm like, what are you even talking about, dude? I simply said no smiley face, and you're reading it this whole way and then coming at me sideways.
Yeah.
Based on context. And I know we're getting a little off tangent here, but I'm like, I went off on it. I started all caps this person. Like, you're the reason why Seattle's dying because of this kind of crap and this kind of egotistical bullshit. And you didn't even ask me. And then he tries to backpedal and says, why are you so angry? Dude, I'm responding in kind to your stupidity. You know? I'm sorry, but I don't have a threat. You're not going to come at me sideways like that when I know, even the person who saw that, when I reposted about it, he goes, dude, I didn't interpret your comment like that at all. And I'm a very jovial kind of guy. Anyways, that ego. But then
I think that's a whole thing of being paranoid, sense of entitlement. There's a lot, the entertainment industry is a messy place. Let's be honest. I love the music. I love making the music. I'm not a person who's on Twitch all the time. I'm more in the background, except when I'm DJing, which I love, but that's in front of a live crowd. That's a different thing. But to be honest, there's a lot of it's a sleazy business. Let's be honest. If we're going to be honest, let's be honest.
I try not
and there's
to
a lot of sleazy people. There's a lot of great people. There's a lot of amazing people, but there's a lot of sleazy, cutthroat people in the business. It's just the way the business is. I think any art business, movie business, fashion business. I mean, it's just the way it is. Any art form business is going to have a lot of trashy things happening.
Exactly, and it's just unfortunate because I tend to believe in to live in a positive mental influence kind of environment. I do put everything down on paper though. I'm very contractual. People
Mm,
come, they want to be a resident DJ with our show. There's 6 contracts they got to sign before they come on. And
yeah,
most of them, they don't know the industry. It's there to protect them and protect me from
of
any
course.
sleaziness so I don't get branded for being sleazy. Some people, they don't get it and they think, oh, he's trying to have me sign contracts. Like, he must be sleazy. Like, isn't that how professionals do it?
Exactly. Yeah,
You're gonna put this in
that's
writing to
crazy. I
people.
mean, I'm on the other side of the business, on the business side, and
Yeah.
we get everything. We don't do anything without
Nothing's
contracting
handshake
something.
anymore, and that's where the sleaziness, where it can slide down a slippery slope. And then
Yeah.
people say, well,
Eh,
you told me it was going to be big. Well, what's your version
Exactly.
of big and
Well,
my
another
version?
thing I want to touch on is, house music started as house music in Chicago and slowly grew, and then the English started getting into it, and then techno started in Detroit and became popular in Germany, and it's been on a line like this, the popularity and the money. And the money's becoming crazy. DJs are getting insane amounts of money. And when the money equation enters it, big money equation, big assholes enter the equation as well. So the state of the business right now, in my personal view, the whole EDM thing. I mean, the music's not good. It's all visuals. It's all hands in the air. That's not the real the organic producers. They don't want to see it go that way. But again, when money gets involved, big money, the corporate guys get in. It's happened to the movie industry with all the superhero movies. There's, the Martin Scorsese's and the Paul Thomas Andersons are on one hand, but there's all the superhero movies, and it's the same in electronic music. 90% of the music's crap. Sorry, that's the way I feel. But there's a lot of great music coming out still, and that stuff tends to be ignored by the mass public, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately,
it happens in every entertainment art form,
yeah.
movies. It is what it is.
Well, and that's one of the founding reasons that we started the DJ session so many years ago, was to basically feature the artists that were maybe more underground, local, but get them out to the world, literally via live streaming, via podcast,
Mhm.
and show them off, show the talent off that was going on. But coupling that with some eye candy, obviously, as I was telling you before the show. When I first had that big name artist come and play on our show, I kind of went ding, 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 light bulb. Maybe I should, instead of asking just for interviews, maybe I could have him come by and play sets too, and then
Yeah.
kind of co-mix that. But our founding mission will always be to help out the, not necessarily the underdog. I don't think of it as an underdog, just the artists that maybe don't have it within their rapport or their Rolodex or the connections of the money to propel them to
Or how
greatness.
many Instagram followers they have.
Yeah, IG. Yeah, there you go. There's a big one too. That's another big one. I had an artist, DJ, come to me recently. He's like, "Well, the reason why I'm going to come on your show and I should be on your show is because every time I play in a different mix." And I was like, "As opposed to what? Playing the same thing every time?" Like,
Yeah, you get a lot of fringe people coming into the business because there's so much money, uh, potential
yeah,
money involved. So you don't get the really die-hard, house heads. You get a
yeah,
lot of people in it for the buck. Let's be honest.
yeah.
I mean, I totally respect, female DJs. There's some amazing female DJs out there, but there's a lot of them just propped up there with their pre-mixed sets, and they look good, and it's all visual thing. People aren't even listening to the music because they're too busy filming the person. You go to a gig, some of these EDM gigs, no one's dancing anymore. They're just filming. It's crazy. What
Yep,
you
I'm
shouldn't
I'm
call it a
very aware
dance
of that.
party anymore. It's
It's been a
insane.
it's been a topic I bring up at every show, and I'm getting ready. I have my contract out to a venue space here in Seattle, holds about 350 people, and hint, hint, one of the things we're going to be doing is no cell phone use in the
Yeah,
entire
I think
venue.
that's an amazing policy. It's destroyed the dance floor.
Yeah.